All right, so let's get started. Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone, and you're in the Referral Mastermind. Our Referral Mastermind call that we're doing, it's an open session. You can ask anything you'd like. Our focus, our topic is referrals, how to generate referrals from your friends, family, past clients, sphere of influence. That's our objective and our goal during the discussion. We could open up and talk about other things if it's dire, or if you're in need, or you just need the mastermind to help you out. That's I understand. But again, let's try to talk about referrals today and how we can generate more referrals. Let's start off with success stories. Does anybody have a success story you'd like to share with the group about how you got a referral either in the last week or the last month, some technique that you're using that seems to be working, and you would like to share a success? Anybody have a successful referral story? And by the way, everybody comes in muted, so if you'd like to chat, just unmute yourself and talk to us.
Okay, I can. This is Sue Hutchinson.
Hey, Sue, how you doing?
I'm good, Mike. Appreciate you doing this.
You
because referrals are a very important part of our business.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you have a? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I have a recent referral success story that I can share, and it's from a past customer that I had worked with her and her mother. It's been about 8 years ago now, and they had a special situation. They needed kind of a mother-in-law, a suite situation in the house they were going to buy. And I had a listing coming up, and I couldn't put it on MLS because the seller's husband was critically ill in the home. And so we had special situation we had to work with. Well, I got this mother and daughter into the home, and it was a perfect setup. It had a separate 3 steps up to this area that had been transferred into a room. Okay, so we got that success story done, and it was a beautiful situation. Well, a few months ago, the buyer there that I had worked with, I'll call her name Ella, her sister was moving here from Texas, and she said, Sue, I know you can help Sarah find a place to live, and we'd love to have her as close as we can to us, you know. Well, we started looking at some townhomes, and it was, you know, it's in this market that you better be the first one in the door and make your offer right away kind of thing. Well, we found this one that I knew the area very well, and I knew the listing agent, and I called him and I said, Scott, I have a buyer that is going to be cash, and this is a perfect place. Do we still have time to put in an offer? He said, Sue, I'm on my way right now to the sellers with our offer. And I said, really? I said, so you don't have signatures yet, right? And he said, well, no, but you know, I said, so you mean you won't even look at our cash offer? She can close quickly. She's moving here from Texas, da, da, da. I know this family. You'd have nothing to worry about. He said, Sue, I'm sorry.
All right.
He said, because it's you and I know you from all your years, he said, okay, send me the offer and I'll present it to them, and we'll just have to see, you know, what they say, because verbally, you know, they have accepted the other. And I hate to do this, but that's the kind of market we're in, you know. Sure. And he did, and we got the deal. And
nice persistence, yeah.
I mean, I didn't give up. And my buyer, Sarah, she heard me on the phone because we're standing right in the townhome when I called him, and they could hear him. And they go, "Wow, Sue's tough." And I said, "Well, I just wanted a chance, you know, and it might not work, but at least take a look at this. You know, it's good." And bottom line, you know, we won, and it was a great experience. And so I got that referral, and then Sarah now works in a medical facility, and she's referring somebody to me. So, you know, it's that domino effect that can work. You know, it's awesome when they trust you.
That is fantastic. What a great story, Sue. Thank you for sharing. Question for you. How are you staying in touch with your past clients in your sphere? Are you reaching out periodically to people,
Oh, yeah.
or are these referrals just happening because you're doing such a great job?
No, well, I hope it's partly because I do a great job and I've been doing it for over 30 years. But the reason I think mainly is because I don't forget them. Now, I can't, always stay in touch with everyone, but I do my best with emails and I send out things to them. But there is a top 100 list that I have that I focus on, because I feel like if I try to do 1,000, you can't do as well of a job of staying in touch other than a mailing once in a while, And so
Sure.
I picked my top 100 that I've had for a long time, and I send them gifts, or I just went over, I was invited to this mother and daughter thing that we had going on. The mother just turned 93, and they invited me to the family birthday party. That kind of thing touches my heart. They want me to come to their family birthday party. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I have to say, I think that's because I made a friendship that I wanted to keep. And that's what I try to do with, as many as I can, to show them that it's not just about that one-time deal, but it's about a relationship I want to have with them.
That is fantastic. I like how you brought that home. It's this friendship, it's a relationship, it's even family. You've created a family bond with some of these people. I also like how you talked about your top 100 list, and that way you're focused on those people to help them out, connect with them. What's been your best way to reach out and touch your top 100, where you feel you've received the most return from a business perspective? It's resulted in the most referrals. Is there anything that you've done that over the years you thought, man, that is such a great idea, I need to do that again?
Really, I think it kind of started with, and I know a lot of people say we're not in the business to sell recipes, but Sensations has a recipe card situation that you can subscribe to, and it can be other things than recipes. But I know that people love to look at recipes, even if they don't cook or bake, and I'm just as guilty now because most of the time I don't have time to bake and cook. But anyways, I started that years ago, and it went out monthly. And I got a real test of that working or not when the bad recession came back, in 2007. And I had to start looking at ways to cut costs. And I go, maybe it's time for me not to be sending this card out all the time. And so what I did is I first went to just 6 months. And then when the recession got so bad, I just really, it's taken 100 years to sell a listing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I stopped it. I didn't send them anymore. And I started getting phone calls. Sue, are you not sending those recipe cards anymore? And after you get a few of those and you say, wait a minute, I'm cutting off the hand that feeds me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I reinstated it and got it going. And since then, I've done some other things. And I do this Reminder Media magazine now, which goes out every quarter. And I love it because I can customize it to me. And they have some wonderful articles. They have a recipe card. And it's really not that expensive. And so I'm doing that now as a regular type mailing. And it's something I feel like they're not going to throw away because it's beautifully done. And it's articles and recipes that they probably are going to cut out and save. So, I've been keeping in touch with that, and I've gotten thank yous for doing that. So you got to find different ways that you don't have to always be on the phone calling, because there's only so many hours in the day,
Right.
But I try to think of different things to do, and then remember birthdays, remember house anniversaries, that kind of thing with a card. And it takes time, but it's worth it in the long run.
Sue, that's great. I like that a lot. The recipe cards, what a good idea in that you're out there repeatedly. I assume it has your name and picture on it.
Yes.
It's something they keep. That's what I think the power there is. They keep it in their card box or in a drawer. And as you probably have experienced, then when they think of real estate, they'll often think, oh wait, it's Sue, and I can't try to remember her name and where her phone number is. Oh yeah, it was on that recipe card. They're connecting the dots that way. And
Yes.
that's a fantastic way to stay out there. Also, you mentioned your quarterly mail out, and then of course the birthdays and the anniversaries, great times to contact. One final question on all that, on the recipe cards, how often are they going out?
Every other month.
Every other month. So 6 times a year, plus you got the
Right.
quarterly magazine. So it's about 10 times a year, plus your contact when you make the phone call for them for their anniversary or their house anniversary or their birthday. That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and I've even started doing, texting is so popular now. So I've actually, instead of always sending a birthday card, I've been doing a text message. And sometimes if I know them pretty well, I'll sing to them and they'll say, Sue, that's the first time I've been sung to. I go, and I know it wasn't very good, but, so just to get a laugh, and do something a little different.
That's great. On the birthdays where you're doing the send out for the text, are you sending just a text or are you doing a video text where you do a little video of you singing and send it out to them?
Well, I should start doing the video. I haven't done the video. It's just been me, singing, but I know, and I gotta start doing that, more video because it's more personal.
Cool. Well, that sounds like a great plan, a great success. Thank you for sharing and participating in the mastermind. Let's do this. Let's open up for other folks to add on to what we just did there with Sue. Is there anything that Sue said that you kind of thought was pretty good, interesting, you want to add on? Any questions you want to ask to the open mastermind here to get some questions that you may have on referrals answered? Sue, again, thank you so much for hopping in on us and getting us started up. But if you're out with us and you want to share, just go ahead. When you're not talking, mute yourself. When you want to talk, unmute yourself and share your comment, story, your thought, etc. So anybody else have anything? I think I see Dave there. Dave, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, I just got a couple of quick ones, and then unfortunately I have to leave the call because I got this other thing to get ready for. Okay,
Sure.
The first one is not a real estate referral, but I think it's worth mentioning. Okay, I used to do insulation, the attic insulation.
Sure.
And I went in, we used to drop by the office every time, any leads, right? There was one lead, and it was 1 hour away, and the guy wanted to insulate, not his house, just his living room, right?
Right.
So all my colleagues, they said, yeah, I'm not wasting my time with that, right? Anyway, I went up there, right? And guess what? He actually insulated his whole house, and everybody knows everybody. It's in La Fontaine. It's about an hour north of Barrie. Right. And out of that, I got about 20 or 30 referrals. I didn't even ask for them.
Wow.
The guy said, hey, can you go see my brother and his sister, uncle, and everybody? Everyone knows everybody. They're all related to each other, I think, too, right?
So what's the lesson there? What's the lesson there? If you help someone on a small project,
don't prejudge.
A big project.
Yeah, don't prejudge. Now, I'm going to give another one that I just got recently, but it's not, I don't know if it's a success story. It is a success story because it's a very good relationship. Okay. But I had a couple of ladies call that were referred to me, right? And they wanted to buy a condominium. Now, Mike, where are you? Where's your location?
I'm in Denver.
Denver. Okay. I'm not sure about the price in Denver, but over here in Toronto, they're ridiculous.
Sure.
For $500,000, fully qualified. $500,000. You know what you get? Junk. Total junk. I mean, I'm talking. You wouldn't let your dog live in that place, right? But my point is, okay. My point is this. Okay, the relationship is great. Okay, I'm still sending them properties and everything else, and our market's starting to, I think it's getting close to a buyer's market already, right? Because we're too high, right? So the point is, there was no sale, but there's a relationship. And the relationship, I think, is more important than the sale because the relationship can lead to more sales, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And the third thing, I do agree with Sue exactly about, if you can remember people's birthday, you have some kind of automatic thing that sends out the birthday or the video, everything, any contact, everything's great. But the main thing is hint maybe about real estate, but don't talk about it. Let's talk about them, talk about interest them. Right?
Sure. Well,
So,
that was all good, Dave. And, Sue mentioned that birthday greeting. She mentioned calling up on the phone and wishing them happy birthday or even singing happy birthday. And the thought there is, who does that? Who
Nobody.
calls you up on your birthday and
Mhm.
sings happy birthday? To
Mhm.
me, the only people I can think of that even would think about doing that would be family, right? Be close family, close friends. And so you're kind of putting yourself in that category by taking that action. So it's very, very smart.
Mhm. Even on Facebook, if there is someone I only met once, like barely acquainted, happy birthday, whatever his name is or her name is, right? Because you never know, right? You plant
Exactly.
enough seeds and eventually might get a harvest one day, right?
That's exactly right. You're a farmer planting out there, cultivating. Love it. Cultivating relationships.
Exactly.
All right, Dave, thank you for bringing that to us today. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us again this week. Good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, let's open up for anybody else again have questions about anything that you need help with. You want to open it up to the mastermind, comments on anything that's been working well for you in the arena of referrals, generating referrals, helping people out, or anything you've heard so far that you would like to add on to. Again, this is an open mastermind. We got a lot of smart people in our group. Love to get the information out there and just share it. That's our goal and focus for today. If you would like to contribute, go ahead and just unmute yourself and let's start chatting. I think I stumped you. No problem. So again, if you have any thoughts on referrals, how do you generate your referrals? Your best favorite way to generate referral? Maybe we could try that. The best favorite way to get out there and generate referrals. What's working for you out there? Anybody tell us what your favorite method of getting referrals is?
I can talk.
Hey, is Tatiana?
Tatiana, yes.
Tatiana, nice to meet you. Thanks for
Nice to
joining us.
meet you. Yes. So, let me start video. Okay, there it is.
There you are. Hello.
So, for me, worked referrals through the Nextdoor app. You know, Nextdoor.
Right.
When
Social
you have
network.
social network, and it's beautiful, app to get connected with neighbors. I never seen my neighbors, and over the sudden I have connections to everyone, and it's they ask questions, I answer. Someone is looking for family to stay in a neighborhood, and I find rental property for them, and someone is saying, okay, they having like Saturday market to get rid of the furniture, and I'm asking where they going, and from there we talk about selling a house, and it's all about neighborhood.
Sure, that's great. So you've been able to connect with the people in your neighborhood by working through social media called Nextdoor. I understand. My wife loves to get on there as well and connect with people. How did you introduce yourself or show people that you were an agent or let them know that you were able to help them? How did you
It's
make that
actually
connection?
profile. In the profile, you tell a little bit about yourself, what you do, what kind of credentials you have, what is your office location, and the office name. So we basically everything they can see or write, or and you can post your picture. They can see you, and if they want to connect, they just message you. It's so convenient.
That's great. Now, do you reach out to them in any way? Do you see
Yes,
people
sometimes
there?
I answer, sometimes I connect through message. It depends. It depends. If they post something, I post answer on a post, or I message them.
So when you reach out to them, what do you say? Do you say, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent. Do you have any questions?" Or you say, "Hey, you're thinking about selling your home," or do you just say,
I'm just
"Hey, I noticed
starting
you're
with
on a
my
site."
advice. I'm starting with my suggestion, advice, and at the end I say, hey, by the way, I'm a realtor.
Sure. Okay,
So
I
they,
get it. So they ask a question about anything random, you answer, and in your
yes,
answer at the bottom, you say, "Hey, by the way, I'm an agent, I'm a
yeah,
realtor," and
yeah,
that may strike up other questions that they may have.
yes, yes.
Very
That's
good.
the
And how
best.
much business do you think you've received from Nextdoor?
I not a lot right now because I'm not very active on that app through that app, but I say maybe 10 leads, maybe 10 leads a month.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
cool. And how many closings do you think you've received from Nextdoor over the last year?
Oh, not a lot. It just sometimes rentals, sometimes just a question about the future sale or future buy. But I, if I had one. I had one only.
Cool. Well, let's do this. Let's open up. And by the way, thank you for bringing that to us.
Sure.
Let's open this up for everyone else. Has anyone else had success with Nextdoor as far as generating leads or getting referrals? Anybody have any connection with Nextdoor? Thank you, Tatiana.
I have had success, Mike, with Nextdoor. I've only had one that actually worked out, but I've had, not a great number, but I need to do more myself. But
Sure.
just from that one that I got, which was probably about 6 months ago, it worked out to be a listing, which was good. And she had said that she had already talked to another agent, but she saw me in a couple of recommendations that were on Nextdoor. So yeah, I think that's a powerful way to reach out to your sphere in your circumference area,
A geographic, kind of like a
Yes,
geographic farm there, right?
right.
Cool. Sue, thank you. And I'm glad that it worked. And now you've got that past client in your database that you can now do I believe you're doing 10 contacts per year, maybe 12 with the birthday and the home anniversary. And so now they're going to become future referrers for you, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
I love it. Nice job, Sue. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. So does anyone have any concerns, questions that you want to get out to the mastermind? Any stumbling blocks you've had with generating referrals, servicing referrals, anything you're curious about to increase your referrals? I think Wanda has a question there. Go ahead, Wanda.
Hello, everyone. I just had a piggyback question off of Nextdoor. Is that app free to do, or do you have to pay a service to market on there, or can you market yourself for free?
Great question, Wanda. Who can
I'm
help
sorry,
us out
Mike.
with that? Sue?
I would just say that there is a paid service if you want to be the marketing agent for that area. But I've chosen to kind of work it on the free side because I've got enough paid things kind of going on right now.
Yeah.
But if you respond to a lot of the notifications that you get in Nextdoor that things are happening, and I just put a comment in for one that he was looking for a kind of a local B&B kind of situation, and I have a friend who has just started that on her farm, So, I just reached out and let him know, who he could contact. I had no idea what it would cost. But you can gain, and then they go into the directory and say, well, who's this Sue person, And
Mhm.
so I'm working it on the free end right now.
Okay.
Does that
Thank you.
make sense, Wanda? So it sounds like you can do it free and you can make network connections, but you could, they also have a paid service where you can kind of promote yourself. I didn't know that part.
Right. It makes sense then. So I will look into it. Thank you.
You bet, Wanda. Thank you for asking the piggyback question. How's your referral business going?
I need to do more. That's why I'm here to learn some techniques.
Well, why do you think you need to do more? What do you think would help you do more? Let me ask a better question there. What do you think would help push that further for you?
I probably need some kind of script or some kind of system to do it because I have gotten referrals, but it hasn't been consistent where I know, with the people that I've closed from, other clients, I should say, that I have helped. Of course, I have one client who sends me everybody she knows, but I think I should do a better job of just some kind of way getting them to think about. I don't think I'm phrasing my question because I always say, if you know someone or I can help buy, sell a house, let me know. But I think there needs to be a better way to do it because I'm not getting enough from that. The way I do it, I feel like it can be improved.
I got a couple different thoughts and questions there. Again, we'll open up for the group in a second here, but the way you're doing it now, first of all, how long have you been in the business?
Well, I just re-entered the business in 2017. I was in the business years ago when the crash happened in 2000. I'm in New Orleans, so our crash was a little delayed because of Katrina.
Sure.
So we didn't experience the crash till like 2010, 11, when the other people, the world had experienced it around 8, 9. So I got out and started doing it part-time and just let it go. But I said I want to make it work because I really like real estate. I just hadn't been as successful as I hoped to have been. So in 2017, December of 2017, I restarted and I was doing it a little different with a partnership with the target being first-time home buyer education and all that. But right before COVID, I decided to go back to the traditional route, which is the traditional real estate, kind of like a solo agent. So that's what I'm working on building now.
Got it. And it sounds like, do you have a formal annual marketing plan for reaching out to your past clients, sphere of influence, your friends and family, and letting them know about your ability to help them with real estate?
No, I don't have anything formal. No.
Do you have a database put together of the people that you know, and then the what method for, or the ability to reach out to them? So like their name and their address and their phone number, their email.
I do have market leader for the people I do have, but I do notice that I don't have everybody in there. I just realized that kind of like a week or so ago, like there's some people in my market leader who should be in my market leader. I mean, of course, the obvious people I've done business with, but some of the family and friends that you just, should be in there. So I need to get that up to
Tell
date.
us what market leader does for you.
I do the monthly newsletter that goes out to everybody. And then I also have it categorized by buyers, sellers, and investors, or past clients. Like the past clients, I have them on that extra marketing piece, which is like, thank you for your referrals. And it has some past clients, like quarterly stuff that goes out. And they have a purchase anniversary date. So when that date comes, it sends out something. But I don't, and I also have the birthday. If I know their birthday, they automatically get that. But I'm trying to customize my marketing, especially for investors, because that's where I want to take my business now, to more investors and sellers versus first-time home buyers, and that whole market, because that's where most of my business was from. But I'm just wanting to go in a different direction. So I need to figure out what I could send the investors, because that kind of market leader I find doesn't really target those investors. Like the marketing plans that they do offer are kind of generic for buyers, the average buyer and the average seller, but it's not really specialized.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. you'll have the most success in any business, including real estate, if you specialize and niche into something tight, like you just mentioned, investors, or then try to niche down into certain kinds of investors. Will be even more successful because then you can talk their language. That's kind of what you were just getting into. You're going to talk about topics they're curious about and so forth. When you were going down the first time home buyer route, you kind of probably picked up the dialogue for what they were curious about, what they wanted to know about. How can I get home with little or no money down? What's the least I can get into? What's the monthly payment? They had a certain set of questions that they were concerned about. How do I get a co-signer? Those are all kind of first-time home buyer questions. Then investors have their whole set of questions they're curious about, how they analyze a property and cap rates and so forth, and you're going down those paths. And that's if you're going to be a solo agent, you want to have success, niching is the way to go. Just keep in mind that one of your niches is your friends, family, and past clients. And the reason that it's so powerful is Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time. He likes to buy a company if it has a moat around it, what he calls a moat around it, a wall keeping out the competitors. To me, your past clients and sphere of influence, you have this built-in moat and wall. It's called a relationship. That you are able to block out the competitors. I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but sometimes you go on a listing appointment and you do your presentation, and at the end you say, great, you're ready to sign up. And they say, well, I really have to use so-and-so, it's a friend of the family or it's a relative. That's that moat working, right? That's that advantage of the relationship. And so that's why I recommend you build out that database of your past client sphere of influence, put together a really good formal program for reaching out to them, and building up that moat through people that already know, like, and trust you. You've already had closings, you already have relationships. I'm going to give a couple more pieces there because I think this is a great case study, and I really appreciate you bringing this up. So you have a database, you're not getting the results that you want yet. There are different ways to reach out, and 7 Levels of Communication is a book out there by Michael Mayer. You may have read it. It's really good. It talks about the different types of communication and how you get closer and closer to someone through using the different mediums. As an example, if you do face-to-face, that's the best. I mean, they see your body and your facial expressions, they hear your voice and your tonality. There's not a lot lost in translation. It's very personal, right? It's hard to be in front of everybody face-to-face all the time, but that's the number one. That's the highest. Next level down today might be something like this, although you're probably not going to hop on a Zoom call with somebody who lives down the street, but that you were able to see each other and hear our voices and so forth. Next level down would be a phone call. So reaching out by phone. And now we're kind of mixing in the video thing there too. We heard earlier where you could do a text message or maybe do a video text message. Those are increasing the levels of communication. And then it rolls down into, say, email and snail mail, and then more generic ways to reach out, like social media would be a very generic way to reach out. The reason I'm bringing all that up is it sounds like you're doing a lot of the lower level communications. And if you want more results, you got to start adding in some of the higher level communications. So you need to start reaching out in person, or knocking on a door, or inviting someone to lunch, or building those personal connections where people, they say, oh yeah, real estate, Wanda, right? They just get connected, right?
And what's the name of the book again? You called it?
Yeah, it's the 7 Levels of Communication, 7L. So you'll see 7L on the book cover. I'm pretty sure it's 7 Levels of Communication, and the author is Michael Mayer, M-A-H-E-R, and he's a real estate guy. So
This is one of the most popular books that realtors refer to all the time. So Wanda, get your hands on it because it is awesome. It's
Yeah, I
awesome.
hadn't heard of it. Okay, but yeah, I will definitely pull it up on my Kindle.
Good
Yes.
call, Sue. And Wanda, definitely check that out. Just get this idea of increasing the communication type. And there are ways to do that that make it easier. So I'll bring some of the things that top agents do in, because everybody struggles. Everybody struggles with how do you reach out enough on these higher levels of communication without being a pest, right? Without being a nuisance, without, especially if you're a conservative person. Most people in America are, if you know the DISC personality, they're in the C and the S category, they're S and then the C category as far as the bulk. And that accounts for 70, depending on what you look at, 70 to 80% of the people. Those people tend to be very reserved. And if you're in that category, it's very hard for you to reach out to talk to people. And so you need to have a reason to reach out. Okay, you were talking about scripting earlier, and I'm going to finish on that in a minute. But the reason for reaching out, if you have something fun and easy, it becomes easier to do the task, such as Sue had mentioned reaching out on a birthday. That's kind of fun. Say, hey, Wanda, happy birthday.
Right.
Who's not going to want to accept that, right? And you don't have to slam any real estate stuff into that. You just say, hey, Wanda, I just want to reach out. I hope you're having a fantastic birthday today. And how's it going? If you're talking to them live, how's it going? If not, you just leave that on their voicemail. I just want to let you know I was thinking about you today. I hope you have a fantastic birthday.
Right. Okay.
It's an easy reach out, right?
But that is easy now that you say that like that. Yeah.
Another easy reach out is the home anniversary. If they were your past clients, what a great time to call them up and just say, hey, Wanda, I can't believe how much time is flying. Do you remember that 6 years ago, I helped you buy your home? I just was thinking of you today and I wanted to reach out and say, how's the home doing? Notice I'm using open-ended questions. So I let them come back with whatever they're thinking about. Does that make sense?
Right.
They may say something like, oh yeah, now we have 7 kids in this 1-bedroom condo and it's getting kind of crowded. Say, I've got a solution for you. Let's talk, right? Maybe we should have lunch, or would you like me to help you look at some properties or whatever? It can open up other opportunities. And if nothing else, though, you're just building the relationship and the connection.
Right. Okay. Well, that's definitely to do. Birthdays and anniversaries.
And let me add one more there, that is the invitation to an event. The reason that top agents do a lot of events, like a Pi Day giveaway, or a raffle, or any kind of event or giveaway, is because it's a great way to reach out. It's so much easier. The old school was, hey, Wanda, it's Mike over at ABC Realty. Just want to know if you know of anybody thinking about buying or selling a home in the next 60 days. It's hard to make that call every 30 days, right?
Right.
But if instead I called up and I said, hey, Wanda, it's Mike Cerrone over at ABC Realty. I just want to let you know that we're giving away pies next month for Thanksgiving. How'd you like to get a free pie, either pumpkin or apple or pecan? Would that be cool for you? Would you want to get a free pie?
Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm the introvert, so oh goodness, this is really gonna take me out of my
With that party idea, you can go a level down. You can send out a card to them or a text message, right? An invitation that way. It's another easy way to connect. And then you could save, if you're real introverted, you can save those reach out calls for your really close friends or your top 100 list, top 25 list. Sue had a top 100 list, the people that you're really close to, and they're going to give you a good response.
Right.
And if you ever do make those reach out calls, which I hope you do, then it's best to start your calls. If let's say you want to make 10 calls today, start the first one or two with people you already know, like, and trust. You know you're going to get a good response from, because they're going to give you good positive feedback and get you into the cycle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's true.
Wanda, I'm going to give you one more piece of info just because I'm on a roll.
I appreciate it. I'm making notes.
And that is, you were asking about a script for referrals. And my recommendation to you is don't overcomplicate it. There are a lot of great scripts out there that you can use. The best thing is just to have it heartfelt for when you think there's an opportunity. You know, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, you use them in proportion, you listen twice as much as you talk, and you'll hear somebody say something that makes sense about them moving themselves, as an example. Or you could just drop in at any time. You say, by the way, I'm here for you if you need me. Listen to how simple that is. I'm here for you if you need me.
Yes, that is.
I didn't even mention real estate, right? I didn't say who are your friends that want to move. I just said, I'm here for you if you need me. Okay,
Right.
That's a powerful script. And I think it was Tina Call that said that one, but I know I've heard it multiple times from people. That's just a very low risk type of statement, right? Just, I'm here if you need me. That's very heartfelt as well.
I'm going to use that. I think that is awesome. I'm putting that on my next mailing. I think that is so touching. You know, it's I love it.
Yeah, you betcha. Thank you, Sue. There's just so much great information out there, but the key is this, Wanda. I just want to help with this idea of the script. Just find things that are comfortable for you to say, so you will say them, or find things that are easy for you to do, so you will do them. Don't make it difficult. It's not hard. You've already connected with all these people in the past. Just figure out what seems easy and comfortable to you to reach out with. I also don't like to think of scripts in exact words, although I'm a little different than some on that. I like to just think of the concept in my head, and then in the moment, I'll get the right words out. I'll just throw out the way it feels right to me at the time. And if people feel that it's coming from my heart, it's going to sound right. Does that make sense?
Right. That's true.
Okay, cool. Wanda, do you have any other questions that we can help you with to try to get your referrals up?
I think I've got some stuff to work with. The birthday calls and the purchase anniversary calls, and I got to figure out some kind of giveaway at some point, but that won't be on the radar for a minute, because I got to figure that out.
You could do a lot of different giveaways. You could do a $50 gift certificate to your favorite restaurant. You know, it's like giving them a night out. You can call it a dining for two dining for two raffle. I'm just making this up off the top of my head. You know, you don't have to spend a lot of money on these to make them kind of fun and exciting. It's fun to do them around a holiday, like Valentine's Day. You can, if you were on social media and you do Valentine's Day, say, hey, send me a picture of you and your spouse, or you and your significant other kissing. And we're all going to vote on who has the best kiss, right? I mean, just have fun. Halloween, you can do costumes or kids costumes, or I don't know all the holidays, but yeah, there's so many out there. Like if you have pets, like Dog Day, you could say whoever sends me the best picture of their dog, and you put it on social media, you all vote on it, is going to get blank. And it's really the experience of having the fun of looking at all the pictures rather than the prize of blank. You could do 25 lottery tickets, scratch cards or whatever, just so you just kind of, it doesn't even matter what the prize is so much as you're creating community. People are always shocked when they do a pie day giveaway. It's a $10 pie and people are driving 30 minutes or an hour across town to get the pie. And they'll say, Mike, why did they come over to get this pie? It's only $10. I say, because it's not the pie. They want to reconnect with you.
So when those giveaways, are they typically on the weekend or evenings? Do you know what people are normally doing with that kind of stuff?
Sure. So you can do, again, a lot of different ways to set these things up. If you're doing it on a particular holiday, for instance, the Thanksgiving one, they usually do it, they have everybody come to their office to pick up the pie. And they'll do it like on a Tuesday before, the Wednesday before, the Thursday of the Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
I just talked to, I think it was Monica. Monica Angeles actually was driving around this last Thanksgiving, handing them off because she's in a small town. She thought this will be easy. And it took her forever to do it. She said, I'm not doing it that way anymore. I'm having to come to me. Yeah, this is a solo agent who sold 162 homes last year. So that's the other thing I'm trying to get your mind open to is, you can do this kind of stuff. You can, and by the way, she never asked for a referral in her script. If you haven't watched, listened to Monica's interview, you should. She is actually also like you. She's very conservative, but she knows she has to set up systems to make sure that things get done, i.e. these reach outs, making sure that people get touched. That's another good word to use, by the way, is their touches.
Mhm.
Does that all help?
Yes, that's wonderful. I appreciate it. Yes.
Cool. Does anybody else have any ideas you'd like to throw in on how to set up your annual marketing plan or events or other ways to do reach outs that we can help Wanda and the rest of us? If you have a comment, go ahead and just unmute yourself and throw it out there. I got some shy people today. I'm looking through my list of who's on our call. We got some pretty sharp people out there, and we've heard some great ones so far. Don't be shy. Throw out there into the mastermind. Help us out. What do you like? How do you like to reach out? What's your favorite way to reach out to your past clients and sphere of influence?
Let me share how do I do that. It's my community that I work with. It's Russian language speaking community. I know that's right now it's not so good to hear that about Russian community, but I've been here for almost 30 years and I have so many Russian speaking people, families around me. So when I do reach out, I call them. I call and chat and ask about family, about kids, about jobs or works they do, and I ask for a referral or for a business right there. I just ask if they are doing anything with real estate, they wanted to sell a home or wanted to move different location or anything. And sometimes it's something that when I talk, they say, oh, I'm not doing any move, but my neighbors are looking for realtors, and here it is. They give me a referral.
I love it. I love it. That's a lot of great information in there, Tatiana. Thank you so much. And now you mentioned that you're an immigrant from Russia, so you have a lot of connection there with anyone else who's an immigrant from Russia, and that's the connecting point. You also have a language to share, but you have a culture to share.
Yes.
And most of us on this call, if we think about it, we have something like that where we can connect culturally with with a specific group, or even just a hobby. Like I'm a big mountain biker. I just went on a mountain bike outing this weekend for three days. I love mountain biking. So you can connect with other people who like mountain biking, or whatever you like to do, you can connect with that I call it the culture, the group, because you have a common language to chat through. So Tatiana, I like how you brought that up. Also want to point out how Tatiana mentions what she's talking about. So she has this group, so she kind of identified who, but then the what. And the what was what we should all be talking about, which is the four, the family, the occupation, the recreation, the dreams. These are all these things that emotionally drive people. And so those are great topics to bring up. Everybody wants to talk about one of those topics for sure. They actually want to talk about all of them. They may only want to open up to you about one of them initially, but they definitely want to talk to you about that. And then that dream category is, you know, thinking about moving to a bigger house, smaller house, another state, retirement, or growing, you know, promotion. Just depends on where they are in their phase of life. So that was really good advice. Tatiana, how often do you reach out to your sphere?
Not very often, but I do maybe twice a month. I call my community. You know, it's just a very brief. It's not very depth conversation. And just hi, hello, how you doing, and all of this buzz.
Do you have a big referral script that you throw in there?
I don't know, not a big referral, but I ask if they know anyone or if they thinking of moving themselves or anything that I can help with real estate. And sometimes they just open up and tell me, oh, Tatiana, we thinking of selling it maybe sometime in 2 years, maybe time frame. And I mark my database, and next time when I call, I definitely mention how's your dream to move, and they come back to it sometimes, and they say, okay, we are ready to start this process.
That is great. I like how you ask for the time frame. If they do have any ambition to move, you asked the time frame. You said 2 years. So a couple quick thoughts there. One, the shorter the time frame, obviously the more motivated and so forth. But also, the question always comes up when they say a time, in this case 2 years, when should you be recontacting them, getting back in touch with them? And the general rule of thumb is to cut whatever time they say in half, and that's when you approach them. That came from a Craig Proctor seminar years ago, and it actually does really help to do that. So if they said 2 years, make sure when you write it down that you definitely are going to call them within 1 year. Now, by the way, 2 years is pretty far out, but if you get them to say a year, 6 months, 3 months, whatever they say, cut that time in half, and you have to be in touch with them by that time, or they've already gone on to do something else.
That's wonderful. That's a great idea, really. Sometimes when I call, like in a year, they said, oh, Tatiana, we forgot about you.
Right. And by the way, that's another reason to have other reach out mediums that are just reminding them of you, that are popping up, like a direct mail piece with, and if you do direct mail, the most important thing is to have your picture as big as possible with your name as big as possible, and then either a picture of real estate or the word real estate in there, so they're connecting the dots, because they're going to probably do it over the trash can, right? They're looking. That's why Sue had a great idea of the recipe card. They might actually keep that one, put it up on a fridge or put it in the drawer. So if you can do anything that has shelf life, that's great. But the key though, on any of those mediums is make sure your picture is huge and your name is huge and something about real estate is huge. So they connect it within that couple seconds that they have. And you should be getting that out to them consistently. I'm sure most people have heard of the Red Book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Great book, done many years ago. Basically went out and interviewed the top folks and then kind of summarized from them. And they had the idea of the 33 touch throughout the year. And that's pretty heavy, right? That's like every 10 days. The only way to do that properly is through different mediums. So you don't bombard them with the same medium over and over. And that works. But I'll tell you, I've talked to many top agents lately. I'm going to bring Monica up again. 162 closings last year as a solo agent, and she just touches base with them once a month. Okay, so, but she likes to do different mediums, like some are mail out, some are text, some are phone calls. And then, by the way, she does sprinkle in a couple of events throughout the year also, because remember, they're easy reach outs.
I bet she has an assistant that helps.
That's a great question. I thought she'd have 12 assistants, right? I thought she was going to be a highly leveraged solo agent. That's, by the way, that's the definition I kind of created. Highly leveraged solo agent is an agent who works with all the buyers and sellers, but they have a huge team of administrative people behind them, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assistants that are doing all the paperwork and other things. And they might even have a showing assistant, right? So I thought that's what Monica was going to be. Monica is actually a solo agent, and she's only had a part-time assistant for, I think, like a year now, who works 15 hours a week, just one. Is that mind-blowing or what?
That is amazing.
It blew my mind. You're like, oh, she
yeah,
must be working with a builder, and the builder's doing all the work, or she's doing REO, and the bank is doing all the work. No, she's going out onesies at the time, helping one person at a time. Just mind-blowing, right? It just shows us that we can do a lot more than we think we can.
Yeah, she must be younger too.
Right. There's always an excuse, right, Sue? She must be younger. She must
I can't fathom.
She must be 7 foot tall.
I can't fathom doing that many sales alone.
She must have 6 arms.
Yeah, really, something
crazy about her.
Something she's not telling.
She's just focused, right? We've interviewed her. If you all should attend the Agent Success Summit coming up in July. If you haven't done that yet, go over to Agent Success Summit, get a free ticket to attend. And Monica's going to be chatting about her 3 systems that she uses to keep this all going, and her 3 favorite systems. That's what she's done. She's just kind of standardized all kinds of things. She actually is home most evenings for dinner. She doesn't work on Sundays. She takes, I know, isn't it crazy? She takes, 4? She takes 4 10-day vacations throughout the year. Some of this stuff is crazy, but it's mainly comes down to a system and an attitude. And you can do a lot more, as I say, you can do a lot more than you think. It's getting over that, but she must that'll hold you back.
Well, I'm just trying to be realistic, because well, that's awesome that she can do that.
Agreed. And we don't all have the ambition to sell 162 homes. Whatever your goal is or your number, I just want you to know you can achieve it. You can do it.
Right.
Yeah. How fun. All right. Well, we're starting to come up. We have come up on the top of the hour. This has been a lot of fun. I do appreciate everyone for being here and participating. It was fantastic. Thank you. For instance, Sue, thank you so much. And Wanda, Tatiana, I think Dave was chiming in earlier. If I forgot to mention your name, I apologize, but thank you so much for participating today and being part of our mastermind. We're going to look at doing these once a week to try to help people, again, ramp up their referral systems so that they get more referrals. And I hope this has been helpful. Has this all been helpful?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Well, everybody, we'll show up. If you like this stuff, show up next week, same time, same place. We'll do it all over again. All right, take care.